This is the STV News. Good evening. 6 weeks on since Rishi Sunak shocked Westminster by calling a general election, we're just hours away from polling stations opening up. The First Minister has condemned the attempted assassination of former US President Donald Trump. This time 10 years ago, we were awaiting the first results of the independence referendum. People across the country had flocked to the polling stations in what was billed as a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Glasgow is to host the Commonwealth Games in 2026. After days of speculation, the decision was confirmed today. However, it won't be on the same scale as the successful Games of 2014, with fewer events and the use of existing facilities. Petro-Ineos bosses say there's been no credible bids for the Grangemouth oil refinery and there's no prospect of saving it from closure next year. The Scottish Government must prioritise how it can provide more high-security places for women with severe mental health issues. That's the call today from the Chief Inspector of Prisons. Scotland's social housing is in crisis. That's according to the Scottish Federation of Housing Associations. And finally tonight, Edinburgh Zoo has welcomed its newest arrival, Haggis, the pygmy hippo calf. Baby Haggis was born last Wednesday to parents Otto and Gloria. Her zookeepers say she's doing well so far, but the pygmy hippo house will stay closed for the moment to allow them to keep a close eye on the family. Hello, good morning. I'm Hannah Carmichael with the Good Morning Britain headlines. The First Minister is considering resigning ahead of a vote of no confidence later this week. John Swinney is to be officially sworn in this morning as Scotland's 7th First Minister. The former Finance Secretary succeeds Humza Yousaf in the top job after he resigned from the role last week. The leaders of Scotland's 4 main political parties will go head-to-head tonight in the first televised debate of this year's general election campaign. The former First Minister, Alex Salmond, will be laid to rest today, with a private funeral taking place in Strichen in Aberdeenshire. Long COVID patients face a postcode lottery for treatment. That's the warning from Scottish Labour after it emerged that just 4,368 patients have benefited from a specially designated fund. The Scottish Conservatives have accused the SNP of abandoning teachers by failing to tackle what they call an epidemic of violence in schools. A petition calling for an inquiry into the government's handling of the A9 dualling project will take centre stage at Holyrood later. To football, and as the countdown to Euro 2024 continues for Scotland, midfielder Callum McGregor hopes the tournament will be one to remember. And Scottish golfer Robert McIntyre has won his first PGA Tour title at the Canadian Open. The 27-year-old from Oban finished on 16 under. He was accompanied by dad Doogie, who caddied for him over the weekend. Now here's Philip with today's weather forecast. And that's all from us for this morning. Now I'll hand you back to Susanna and Richard. Bye for now.
Christmas is the time for giving, and sometimes it's vital. No one knows that more than 20-year-old Hannah and her family.
Went and saw out of our GP and they said you're not looking too good, and I just got hit with a whammy of infections and viruses.
Hannah discovered she suffers from a rare blood disorder which has affected her family for generations. She required 4 transfusions within 24 hours and still relies on them regularly.
My mum describes it as putting petrol in a car, which is quite a good analogy. And it just lets me be able to work and see my friends, and I'm so grateful for it. I mean, it saved my life, it saved my granny's life, my mum's life, and people out there need it.
This festive period, Scotland needs 15,000 people to donate blood. The centre here in Glasgow is particularly keen to see people come in on Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, Hogmanay and the 2nd of January.
It was a world-famous street for all things entertainment, the beating heart of Glasgow's city centre for over 150 years. The place to shop till you drop. But it's a far cry from those glory days. As the department stores disappeared, the street declined.
Last year saw the start of the Sauchiehall Street precinct phase of the Avenues project, a £5.7 million redevelopment consisting of new lighting, trees, roads and footpaths. The revamp was supposed to be finished by this summer, but delays have meant the completion date now won't be until the end of this year.
He's one of Glasgow's best-known artists and writers.
What I I'm happiest working upon is mural paintings, paintings that can be seen in public places, like churches or pubs.
Alasdair Gray died 5 years ago. Now a celebration of his work is set to take place. Gray Matters is a humour-based tribute. 3 comedians are contributing an element each in response to his work.
I think humour is often overlooked as a kind of vital part of Alasdair Gray's work. I mean, for those of you who've maybe watched the film Poor Things or read the book, you can really see how humorous that is, and it plays a big role within Alasdair's wider work. So that's why I think we're really interested in exploring that aspect.
The comics are taking inspiration from this archive, a recreation of Gray's studio and former home. Ashley's story will focus on Gray's iconic murals across Glasgow.
He created a whole life built around getting to do his favourite things, that was painting and writing and capturing faces and documenting a group of his friends for forever and ever. It's not just his work. You look at those faces and you see faces that when you're a wee girl you saw on Byres Road and you know exactly who they were.
Author and playwright Alan Bissett is also getting involved, creating a scripted response. And longtime fan Christopher MacArthur Boyd is covering the stand-up element.
I guess the thing is to just spend time in the archives, and I've already read most of his books, and then try and respond to that with my thing. It's really inspiring seeing his practices and his holding the art that he made in your hands. It's an amazing place.
Their work will be showcased in March as part of Glasgow's 850th anniversary and what would have been this inspirational artist's 90th birthday. Hannah Carmichael, STV News, Glasgow.